Okay, so I have my little notebook full of questions. So, okay, we gotta all introduce ourselves. So, I am Salem Strikes, and today I'm sitting with Tryp Flo and Mora Gray, about to about to interview them and ask them some questions because they are gonna be opening up for a show October 8th at Lava Kitchen and Bar. So, you guys wanna introduce yourselves? Carlos, you go first.
Well, hello everyone, fellow Homo sapiens. My name is Mora Gray.
And I'm Tryp Flo.
What's up? All right, so I actually have some questions for you guys. So let me break open the composition book. Okay, all right. This was gonna be a good one. So my first question for both of you, you guys can whoever wants to go first. But I wanted to ask you about your artist names, like how you guys came up with your artist names. So Tryp Flo, you wanna go first?
Yeah, no, so Tryp Flo, TRYP is short for tryptamine, because when I was a teenager, I would fuck with psychedelics a lot. That also influenced my art a lot, like this tattoo, for example. Um, and then FLO is the first three letters of my last name, Florindo. So yeah.
Hey, this is Mora Gray here. So, I was in a hotel room. I'm gonna say what I was doing, but I was with a lot of friends, and I had a bunch of different names. Cause I was trying to start my new artist name, but I did not know what to go for, cause I had a bunch of ideas. And then, for one, I had the highest vote from all of my friends that Mora Gray was the catchiest, and to me that means Mora is my second last name, and Gray is the tone of my music. It's a mixture of being like the songs being very bright, very dark, or just neutral, or even just everything else, just neutral, just black, gray, white colors. So I went with Mora Gray, and that shit's sick, dog.
Yo, I absolutely love that. Like both of you guys. Wait, I gotta make sure I get myself in here. What's up? It's me. I know. I really dig that. Like that's such a good, like that's such a artist like way to go about having
last name. It's my mom's last name. So
more as your.
I was raised by my mom.
Oh,
So
okay.
I feel like I'm more of a Mora.
That's really cool. I kind of feel the same way.
My last name, my full name is Carlos Neri, but since Mora's my mom's last name, and my parents got divorced, so she's just she's a Mora. So and I was raised by her, and she was like the real parent figure to me. So I'm Mora Gray.
That's dope. That's dope.
Just for my mom.
We all gotta shout out our moms for giving birth to us because we wouldn't be out here making all this dope art if it wasn't for our mamas. So, I feel like I should also answer. Like we should all just make it even. So Salem Strikes. Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys knew. I mean, you know that I did Twitch Kid before I did like any Salem Strikes, and went through like picking my new legal name was gonna be. So I went with Salem because I'm just very like witchy and spiritual, and I like to embrace like my brujo side. So that name has like a lot of meaning for me. And then Strikes is just because like I like stuff to like alliterate, so like I have to have the two S's. And Strikes because like when I'm really like in the flow of like rapping, I feel like I can just like strike you, like I'm ready to like hit you with them bars. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. Next up, let's see what we got. Oh, I wanted you guys to talk about your song Black Nail Polish because you guys are going to be performing that one, I'm assuming, on the 8th. So, you guys want to talk about how like you came up with it? Why is it called Black Nail Polish?
Well, honestly, me and him both, we've been really influenced by bands like Basement, Citizen, Of Mice and Men, um, and so I really fell in love with like that sound. And I remember one day we were gonna kick it. We came back to my pad. I was like, "Bro, I made this new song," and I was stuck on it because I knew it was good, but I didn't know how to approach it with the vocals. So as soon as he came through and he heard it, he's like, "Bro," and he just came up with the melody. And yeah, we just got to writing the different parts. He came up with the hook, and then we wrote your verse together, and then yeah, and then I wrote my verse in there too. So yeah, it was fun to make. You want to talk about the
It was.
TikTok?
I was. Before I get to that, because I don't really know much about TikTok. I need to hop on that shit. But yeah, it was really fun to make. Um, definitely the most stressful song I had to record. It honestly was like a chapter for me. Like scream and sing at a high like key and trying to nail every fucking note. Multiple.
You don't got it.
Oh yeah.
Hold it far away. It's really sensitive.
Multiple fucking times. My throat died a few times.
It sounds like it.
Nah, but I could do it now. It's just it was something so fucking new to me. And Tryp Flo did a fantastic job on the job. And then we also want to say thank you to Fox Raid, Brian Farrell, and AJ Hefner. They did a really good job on helping us in like recording, mixing. You know, they put a lot of input on like the progress of the song. And honestly, even though it's my least favorite song to rehearse, it is one of the most favorite songs that I've made with that I've been invited to work with Tryp Flo with. It was fucking sick. That's all I gotta say. It's a good song. You should check it out.
Yeah, it's also the only song that's gotten like hella attention, or like so far, because when we performed it in downtown LA with Fake Mattress and Swimlow, my lady, she recorded a clip of us performing it, and I posted it on TikTok. And I remember waking up at 3 a.m. one day and fucking Gio, Box Boy Gio, shouts out. He told me, bro, your shit's blowing up. I look at it and I was like, oh fuck, this is what that feels like, you know. So definitely, it became really important to finish that song ASAP and get it out. So yeah.
That's fucking dope. Like, Black Nail Polish was like, I just had to sit and listen to it like a few times because I was so amazed by your like screaming vocals. Cause like I never would have expected that kind of like intensity to come out of you from that way. Like I was like, I know you're an artist and I know you do like dope shit, but like it was just the perfect combo between you two of just like that intensity, and then you come in with like a different kind of intensity of just like that like dark Tryp Flo, like the like I was like, yes, this is so cool. And then it's just like this roller coaster of just like the highs and lows. But yeah. Wait, so I don't know if you guys answered this, but why is the song called Black Nail Polish? Like, who came up with that title?
Like punk rock aesthetic. Yeah, that's basically the whole gist of it. It's just like expressing ourselves, you know, however we want to, you know, not being limited, you know, by what people think, you know, and shit. Like, I started painting my nails, and people be like, why are you painting your nails? I'll be like, because I fucking want to, you know? Who cares? Oh, yeah.
I just like girls that wear black nail polish.
Valid as fuck. Okay, we got. Oh, another good question for you guys. How did you guys meet? Are you besties? Are you bros? Both? All of the above?
I met this motherfucker a long ass time ago. This is more great talking, by the way. So, anyways, this is a good ass story. We could go back and forth on this one. Alright, so there's the lead singer of Pretty Hate Machine, Boulevard Pineda. Shouts out. He's a beautiful fucking man. Well, anyways, I grew up making music with him. We would like be doing garage rock, pop, punk, screamo. Like we were so like so into A Day to Remember, Asking Alexandria, Bring Me the Horizon of Mice and Men.
Title 5.
Nah, he wasn't with that. I don't know, but we pretty much had. Besides that, we had different tastes of like hardcore music. But anyways, like we were only like 16 years old, and we started like fool like. I'm just kidding. I just noticed I was saying like a lot. Nah, we would be in his fucking garage till like fucking midnight, screaming on a fucking microphone I just bought off of my first job. And then so
That's how we all
we
start,
wanted
man.
we wanted to be a fucking band. So we had other members. I'll get into that some other time. I could go on and on and on. But a lot of people that I'll probably like give credit in the future. But just to keep it short, we had a band and we needed a fucking drummer. And then Bolvar's like, I know a guy. And by the way, me and Bolvar Pineda, we went to different high schools. And the funny part is our high schools were rivals. But all of my bestest friends that I was really close to were all in Foothill in Tustin, and I was in Tustin High. And at Foothill, they have Battle of the Bands. At Tustin, they don't have that shit. We just have a whack-ass talent show. And Bolvar's like, dude, we're gonna perform. No, we don't have a fucking drummer, dude. And he said, I know a guy. And back then, Tryp Flo, Paul Florindo, before he was Tryp Flo, he was in band. The most fucking mysterious, edgy looking motherfucker that ran the block.
Yo, but like still to this day, a mysterious ass motherfucker like that.
Dude, he's fucking
That's just
sick.
the vibe. That's the Tryp Flo vibe.
Nah, I was kind of intimidated by Paul or Tryp Flo because I was like more of like a surfer skater guy, and this guy looked like he just looked like a fucking like edgy, mysterious badass. And I always looked at Paul, I'm like, dude, that guy's cool. Like I was always like, dude, like I can't believe he's our drummer. Like this guy looks fucking cool. And then he was really mysterious, didn't even really talk much. And that's what made me more like interested in Paul. And then to this day, like, you know, we just stuck together. And to this day, he's my best friend. So like he's my I think number one. No, Julio and you are like my number one best friends. Oh, Boulevard too. I can't fucking. You guys are the top three. Like to me, you know, like they've actually been there for me. And he was a musician also. By starting music producing, we spent a lot of fucking time just fucking on his computer or my computer, just trying to make beats and shit.
Remember beer, blunts, and beats?
I don't remember. But I think I talked enough. I'm gonna pass this mic to my beautiful boy, Tryp Flo.
No, yeah, we've been friends a long time. We've been through a lot together. This fool was around for me when I was on my fuck shit in like the darkest time of my life. And yeah, you know, I'm there for him too. So, and we've been making beats together a long time, or just making music together a long time. We kind of bounce off each other's creative energy, you know? Like, I'll do something, and he's like, bro, that shit was fucking sick. What if we do this? And then I hear that, and I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's fucking dope.
Oh, fuck.
And then, yeah, you just keep bouncing like that. I started barely producing, like, beats in, like, around 5 years ago. And he was showing me everything. He taught me how to EQ. He taught me how to do a bunch of shit. And then, yeah. Yeah.
Say some shit that they don't know. Anything. Just one more story. Get the people with you.
So,
Tell them about like fucking how we met AJ, how we met Brian.
AJ and Brian, all them. So after high school, what's it called? I was basically forced to go to college by my probation officer at the time, because I didn't really want to, but I didn't know what else to do. What's good?
We're just recording something.
For like a podcast or like
Yeah. Say what's up, Sticky.
Well, you guys gonna be here all night.
That's true. No,
Sweet.
I forgot what I was saying.
Okay, you met AJ. You were forced to go to college by your probation officer.
Oh yeah, I didn't really know what the fuck to do with my life back then. I had no idea like what college was even about. I didn't know what a degree was. I didn't know what classes or whatever the fuck. But eventually, saw that they had music classes there, and I took a class for like audio production. And I remember in that classroom, everybody either used Logic or FL. But and the professor asked, like, does anybody here use Ableton? And I raised my hand and I look around. There's only one other fool that that uses Ableton, and that was the homie Brian Foxraid.
Brian Farrell.
Brian Farrell, yeah.
Talented ass motherfucker.
He's a really good audio engineer, and he's been helping a lot of us out. Not just me and Mora Dre, but everybody in our collective of
Definitely
musicians.
has a true fucking passion for what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, so shouts out Foxraid.
Brian! Foxraid!
And yeah, ever since then, that friendship turned into, or that like kind of collaboration, us just working together turned into a friendship, and he got connected to the rest of us here in Santana in our 217 studio room. That's where we have Pretty Hate Machine, and Shirley Tempo, who I play drums for, and what's it called, Tritones, and Mansa Musa. Shouts out to all of them. But yeah, that's how it all started.
Part of it.
Yeah.
It is more of like a band studio.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're all very highly talented musicians. I could just do anything on a laptop, but they're really fucking cool. And it's very, like, it's a good spot where me and Tryp Flo, we like to, when we when we rehearse our music, we do everything live instrument. Even though, although the fucking song is, it's like digital, you got the 808s, the hi-hats, and all that bullshit. And it's just, just for you to listen to in your car and just be like, yeah, fuck yeah. But when you see us live, it's just gonna be a full-on live band. Like, it's like, we just want to incorporate as much as talented fucking musicians in our fucking performances to the point where it's just like, you get like the fucking best experience ever in a live fucking like show. So we do everything authentically. Like, dude, we have such a fucking badass squad. Like, we have like 3 drummers, we have multiple people that can play guitar. Like, we're like an orchestra of fucking chingones, So like, even though our music can come out like just like kind of like digital and shit, we're gonna try to make it live every fucking time. If not, it just depends on how like the venue is, or like who's hosting it and if they allow it, or it just depends. But we prefer to do everything fucking live because that's more fucking badass, and we want to incorporate all of our fucking homies that make music and they're very talented to fucking hop on the fucking performance and make people happy in the end of the night.
Well, now is your fucking chance. It's a teeny tiny stage, so you might only be able to have like the drums on the stage, but then you guys can just fucking run around in the crowd. So, all right, bro. I look like an egg. Okay.
Are an egg.
I'm a hard-boiled egg. Okay, wait. My notes. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I was gonna ask you both, like, what is the craziest show experiences that you've had? It could be your own show or a show you went to where some crazy shit went down.
It's easy, bro. So my first one. Wait, hold on. Yeah, my first one. Vans Warped Tour. 2015.
They don't even do that shit no more.
When fucking Bring Me the Horizon was fucking popping, fucking Of Mice and Men was popping. Fucking, what's that guy's account? Sleeping with Sirens. Fucking, one of my favorites at the time, While She Sleeps. They're cool. Plus, when they were all fucking popping, that was the best fucking summer ever. Dude, I was 14 years old, fucking moshing my ass off. I remember my first mosh pit, my first crowd surfing, and my first stage dive, all in one fucking day. I did it all. And there was this guy that I'm not gonna mention his name, but we were fucking forcing him to be the first one to cow surf because we were all scared to do it first.
Yeah.
And we were just pressuring him to do it. He's like, fine. I just was like, shut the fuck up. I picked him up and I'm like, I tapped on the guy next to me like, hey, he's going to go up. He's like, all right, fool. He was a big ass fucker. And we just pick him up. He disappears in the fucking ocean of people. And then I'm like, I'm going next. I was with Boulevard Pineda also, and our Cameron. He was our drummer, and it was honestly one of the funnest moments I've ever had. They just picked me up, and then I just went in. I was tapping on everyone's shoulders, making them know I'm coming because I've been dropped a few times. And then I fell, and I fell into a mosh pit. Like, my journey ended in a mosh pit. And there was a bunch of fucking ninja pit warriors. Dude, like a 32-year-old man, bald with huge ass fucking plugs. Buff. Just punches me right in the throat. No, I couldn't breathe. And I got so fucking mad. Like, ah! The little kid I was just fucking launched him, dude. He was shorter than me. But he was really big, you know? And then, that was my first one. My second one, Suicide Boys. That shit was sick, dude. Definitely take a lot of influence from Suicide Boys, along with like other artists. If that's probably, I'll get into that. If that's like another question. But Suicide Boys changed my fucking life. They were every time I could see them, I'll see them. I could talk on and on about Suicide Boys. Suicide Boys. What do you? Love you guys.
I think for me, my craziest show experience, maybe not the craziest, but just because it was the first time that I've ever been in a mosh pit. I was 14 also, and I went to Chain Reaction with the homies Fez, shouts out, and Vicky, shouts out. And I just saw people moshing. I was like, dude, that looks fucking fun. And I was tiny, like, but I was fucking less than 100 pounds. Yeah, I was like probably 90 pounds. 14.
How old were you?
14, yeah. This was like the beginning of my freshman year. And I just jumped in there and I got fucking kicked in the nuts with probably some huge ass dude with big ass boots, and I went flying. Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, I was.
And the little sparkle.
But I jumped back in, dude. It was fucking. My adrenaline was going, so I jumped back in, and I just kept shoving and shoving as much as I could. And that was just the first band. And honestly, low key too, I guess, cause like I wanted to like feel badass, cause at that point in my life I was so numb to everything. I wanted to feel something, so I stayed in there to the point where I started to pass out. And I don't know what happened, but I woke up like on the floor with my like mouth foaming, and I was foaming at the mouth and kind of like having like a little bit of a seizure or some shit. And this security guard like picked me up and he carried me outside, and they gave me like some pineapple juice because it had like electrolytes or some shit, and like hella water bottles, and they're like, you need to stay the fuck out of the pit. And I was like, all right. But yeah, I can't remember what band that was, but it was a hardcore band. And it was the first time I went to a concert with some friends in high school. So yeah, that shit was sick.
Damn. You have some crazy stories. I am definitely not as like fearless as you guys for sure. You're.
I'm okay. Honestly, just my first name is Carlos. I go by Careless.
Carlos could care less.
I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, that is the true Carlos vibe. I will forever be out of focus. But no, like I've.
Idiot.
Yeah, we idiot, but we love you.
That does a thing with music and art.
I feel like you give yourself way less credit than you deserve, though.
That's just. I mean, I don't give a fuck about idiots. I just do what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm
At the at
day by day.
yeah.
At the moment.
At the end of the day, that's all that we care about. You know, we all have something that we want to express through the form of music and like live performance and instruments and all that stuff, you know? So that's why we're all here. Cause we're from Santana, bruh. We're all
With the fucking
connecting.
Mexican music behind us, and we're all like,
I know, we're literally on top of a parking structure. Just like shit out here, but the security guard has got our backs so we don't get jumped, hopefully. Where is he at? Nah, he was chilling. He was cool. I like that. Oh, I wanted to ask you about your hair. Because your hair is honestly one of your most, like, iconic, like, Tryp Flo looks. Like, if you were walking down the street and you'd be like, oh, well, that's Tryp Flo. You got the fucking,
hell yeah,
what's it called? Liberty Spikes.
yeah.
So how did that start? Like, when did you start kind of expressing yourself, like, visually with, like, your looks?
I mean, I've always been about like punk aesthetic since high school, or like even since middle school. Well, I guess I was more of a scene kid back then in middle school, but the first time I tried to get a mohawk, I got like more of a faux hawk. I was 15, and but I was mainly inspired by like the casualties. They have crazy ass mohawks, you know, or punks in the 80s, you know, a lot of those 80s punk bands. I thought it was badass. I just didn't know how to do it, you know, and what's it called? I guess I didn't really have like money back then. Um, so, um, you know, I just tried it. I had long hair and I would just like try it like that. And that was like the only, as much balls as I had like when I was 15. But it wasn't until like I think 2020 during quarantine, um, where I just really got tired of my hair, you know, and like, or just tired of that point in my life. Like that was a weird. Everything before like 2020, like between 2017 and 2020, I was really like, I was recovering from meth psychosis. Like that shit took a long time. My brain was like scrambled from heavy drug use and shit, and I was like just trying to really like figure my shit out, um, and push past depression and all that. So it wasn't until 2020 that like, and with all that free time, that I was able to really just like find myself again. I feel like I lost myself in 2016, and I came back to myself like 4 years later. And so yeah, red has always been my favorite color. Before it was red, it was just like half white. So I had like half black spikes and half white ones. Or I guess it was more yellow, but yeah, once it was red, I was like, oh damn, I feel like Gerard Way, you know, when he had his red or red hair Kurt Cobain era too, and I was like this feels like me, you know, and so I never deviated from that since. I might switch it up in a few years, but
I'll be waiting for that day.
Fucking Super Saiyan Tryp Flo.
I definitely vibe with that though, because I also recently dyed my hair kind of reddish, because my red hair runs in my family. So I have like cousins with like that just naturally bright, beautiful orange hair. And it's also like redheaded people were used to be like, oh, you're a witch if you have red hair too. So I feel like that's just kind of me reclaiming that part of myself too, and just being like red hair. Also, it's just fucking sick. Red is cool. I agree. What about you? Like, how do you like to express yourself visually with like your clothes and nails and stuff? When you perform, do you ever want to do anything like super crazy with your looks and put on like this character, visual, anything like that?
This is a friendly, nice reminder to everyone that's hearing this or watching this. Please grab yourself a bottle of water. Stay hydrated. It's hot outside. And preserve water. I don't know what it did. I think
Stay hydrated.
I did something.
Oh,
I
you're
pushed
good.
this. I'm sorry. I fuck up everything. So yeah, I drink that fucking water with a little lemon slice on it. Looks. I don't know. I'm just me. Definitely gonna get blasted with tattoos. And when I perform, I don't know. I'm just literally just myself. I'm just the fucking hype god. I don't know. I literally turn to someone else when I'm on stage or I'm performing. I'm not Carlos Santana. I'm fucking more gray when I'm up on that bitch, dude. And I just try to give as much energy as possible, just so I could like leave like a really cool like remark on the people. Um, I always tell myself when I'm up there, I want to make myself rememberable. I want to be the most remember. I have to do something that's rememberable out of all the artists or anyone, even though I support everyone else. But I want to. It's like it's a healthy competition that I want to be like the most hype out of everybody, and I want to be the most remembered. And I say all artists should do the same thing. And if all of us do it on the same show, everyone's gonna remember us. Everyone's gonna remember everyone's performances. So I just always wanted to just give it my all. And dude, it's like that one song, "Lose Yourself" from Eminem. I'm not gonna say the lyrics. Y'all already know. Mom's spaghetti. Here you go.
Alright, wait, did you want to say something? I was gonna. I definitely learned that like early on. Just I feel like I look. Can one of you guys hold this? You can flip the thingy. Flip the screen. The screen. You can fold it back. No, no, no. Yeah, like there you go. There you can see her. Okay. Can you see me? Hi. I was gonna say that that is something that I definitely learned too early on was just to make yourself stand out, and that's also why I started out with Twitch Kid because like I learned how to do makeup. Obviously, I'm trans, so like I grew up like female and doing all my makeup and all that stuff. So as I was like transitioning, me doing drag and me doing Twitch Kid was a way to become this part of it's like me, but also not me, and a way to like play around with that. And putting on that persona of you're like, you know, you become Mora Gray. I was like, I'll become Twitch Kid or I become Salem Strikes. Like you're in that performance mode, and that allows you to express yourself in a way that is so personal to you and that connects with like the people that you see. And that's why like I totally agree with what you said too, like every artist should do that and never leave a show without doing something that if you were watching it you would be like, oh my god, remember when he did that, or remember when he did that shit, like I will never forget that. What's his fucking Instagram, you know, how can I support this guy, you know. You always have to do like something that makes people remember you for the next time. That's like the mark of a true like successful like performing artist. So yeah. Well, this was a sick podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, I think it's time. Unless you guys want to share anything. Okay, let me think. Let me see. Let me. Okay,
It's been like what, like 45 minutes. We should do like.
it's been like 30 minutes.
Dude.
Yeah, I do have to edit this shit back down probably too.
Alright, one more question.
Okay, one more. We'll do one more question. I did have like. Let's see what else I got. Oh, I wanted to ask about. Okay. Here's a question for you, Tryp, because I was listening through like all your discography and everything. I just was like rocking out, and your song "Psychosis" obviously stood out to me because I've dealt with people who have gone through psychosis. I've gone through like I would say a mild version of psychosis because basically like a break from reality. So like it can be caused by like drugs, or like if you have mental illness, your brain is just like wired different, you know, and some people are more sensitive to like the spiritual shit and they can't decipher what's real, what's not. So it can be like distorted ways of thinking about the world around you or about yourself or about other people, and it can be very very scary. So I wanted to ask you about that song "Psychosis" because I like your lyrics. I was like relating to it a lot. I was like, I understand, bro. The psychosis is real. So I wanted to ask you if you're feel comfortable talking about that. Like, what was your experience with that kind of break from reality for you?
Um, well, I actually have a tattoo that's that was inspired by the first time I ever had ego death on LSD. I was 15. It's this one right here, the higher one. Um, first time I had ego death on LSD, I took 3 tabs, and I went into psychosis. Um, Probably one of the most horrific, but also one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. Um, but yeah, I remember I had tripped a few times, um, more than a few times at that point. But that was the first time that I started really like my thoughts took over the environment around me. I wasn't seeing anything that was around me anymore. Like when I would think about something, I would go there, and sometimes then I would start having these anxious thoughts, and I would listen to those thoughts a little bit too much, and then I started going into like this like anxiety driven like thought train, and I started going into thought loops, and then I realized I couldn't remember what my name was, and I couldn't remember like things about my life. It nothing. I There was like blanks, when I would try to remember certain things that I knew were very important to me, and so I started. It's weird because it was a long time ago, but I can still remember like my consciousness being split up into like at least 9 different realities and alternating back and forth, or like kind of having 2 different realities happening at the same time, and all of them were like my deepest fears at that point in my life. For example, like seeing my family being murdered, I remember visually seeing that, and I also remember just I always struggled with social anxiety growing up, so I just remember like having these hallucinations of people talking about me and like laughing about me when I had already like died, and like every single judgment that they ever thought, like, oh, like that kid was fucking, he was a piece of shit. He was weird, like nobody understood him, and like fucking he was a druggie. Yeah, like he was just a drug addict, like it's better, he's gone now, like shit like that, and like just all laughter. And then I remember there was another reality too where I literally was like on the floor, and this is strange because it was actually happening, but it didn't happen the way that I perceived it. It was all my friends checking on me like, bro, are you good? Like, what the fuck? And like, cause my pupils were fucking black, and I was like trying to talk but not making any sense. I was on the floor, and they were like telling me to get up. Like, are you good? Like, what's going on? Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And the way that I saw it, they were laughing at me, and they pulled out these spiked bats and like axes, machetes, and like all this shit, and they started chopping me up, and I felt it. Like actually like hallucinated the pain of those blades like ripping my flesh apart, and like seeing it, like seeing my guts and my like ribs open and like my beating heart. And I was like, dude, I started hearing ambulance like sirens and shit, like, and like all this crazy like literally chaos. And so I convinced myself like, damn, I died and I went to hell. I'm stuck in hell for eternity. And the later half of that trip is actually quite the opposite. Like as soon as I let go and accepted that I was dead, I was like, all right, I guess that's it. I'm gonna just be dead from now on. At that point, like all of those realities kind of just like turned into one, and I shot, like my body flew like into space, like at a disorienting speed. And at that point, like at that age too, I thought that I had seen God, like I thought I was witnessing. It was just like beautiful space formations and stars and colors and nebula and shit like that, and like all these life forms and aliens kind of like basically hugging me and saying like, you're okay, like we love you. But this overlooking presence, it was like telling me like, you're good, like it's all good, like love is what's important. But it didn't say it like with words, like it was like basically just like it was communicating to me in a way that was beyond words, and I went back into my body, and I remember waking up like next to somebody who used to be my best friend and next to my brother, and I was just like speechless. I didn't know what the fuck to say. So that was the first psychotic break I ever had, and that's what I'm talking about in that verse when I say, "What the fuck is you looking at, bro? It's a mirror, but like um, losing touch with reality, sounds of laughter, and my universe shattering." Like that's what consciousness fragmented into pieces. That's what I'm talking about. It's like going to all those different hells and experiencing that, and then also just experiencing meth psychosis too, um, is also why. I called it psychosis. Also, but that happened years later. That happened when I was like 18. But that basically wraps it up.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That was really sick. Any last words? Any last final sentiments? Carlos, have you ever had any crazy experiences on drugs?
Too many stories.
Let's see. What's a short?
One I've had. Kind of see like how it look on camera. I'll just keep it short because I know you have to go and shit. To everyone watching, don't get into alcohol. Don't get into fucking hard drugs. I used to do hard drugs, not anymore. But I definitely did become an alcoholic, and I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to just fucking smoke weed. I'll drink occasionally, but I just want to be a stoner again and shit. Cause honestly, alcohol's got me in a lot of fucking problems. Well, I guess the main story with the one that's the most famous one, because I made it so, put it on my social media and that shit went viral. I was fucking lit at a fucking Halloween party, and I wanted to sober up, so I went to go try to pick up some coke. I fucking snuck out of from everyone, cause I don't remember, I was drunk. I don't know if no one wanted to come with me, or I just fucking walked out on everyone to go pick up some. And then on the way, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I flipped my car on the freeway. I flipped it multiple times, and I came out fucking scratchless. Nothing happened to me. Not a single scratch. The only thing what happened to me, I was like, I had no conscience. Like, I was asleep. Like, I was sideways, passenger side on the floor, and the blood was going down through my fucking side of my head, and I felt the pressure of it, and that's what made me wake up. I woke up tripping the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck just fucking happened? I'll try to make it as short as possible. I thought the car was gonna blow up, so the only fucking damage that happened to there in that situation to me was I thought the car was gonna blow up, so I started socking the shit out of the fucking windshield as hard as I can. I didn't give a fuck if it was gonna break my hand. I thought my car was gonna blow up, and I started kicking through it. But I just discovered. I discovered at that moment that fucking windshields have layers of glass and all that shit, and I was trapped. The doors weren't open. I was crushed in. Like I said, my car just. When the cops came in, the fucking firefighters, they had to like saw me out of the car, and they were so surprised that I was alive. So
Surprise.
yeah, so that's why don't do drugs, don't be drinking, don't be a dumbass. Like we're all fucking we all go through some shit. When you're dealing with something, not trying to be a hypocrite, because I'm still like struggling right now. Don't go to the bottle. You'll do some shit, you'll hurt some people that you love. Emotionally, physically, who knows? Or you'll wake up in jail, or you just killed someone by accident. Stay away from the bottle.
I got that. Hello, and thank you so much for checking out Salem Speaks. For more info on Tryp Flo and Mora Gray, you can find links to socials, music, and more at freaksedge.com/EP release party. To support us and see all three of us perform live, you can buy tickets to the Freaks Edge EP release party on October 8th at Lava Kitchen and Bar in Santa Ana for only $10.
$5 goes to each individual artist that you're coming to see, and the other $5 will be donated to the local Santa Ana LGBTQ plus center. Freaks Edge is a musical duo with myself and Devin Sunshine, where our purpose is to create music and events that shine a spotlight on the underdogs and outcasts of our society and our city. My personal goal is to uplift my hometown of Santa Ana and create opportunities for other artists and creatives all over the country. Thank you again, and stay tuned for the next episode with my fellow artist and second half of Freaks Edge, Devin Sunshine.